All right, that's it. Game over. It looks like Nintendo is probably going to lose their case against Pocketpair over the Palworld situation.
Are we shocked, honestly? I mean,
no.
Everybody was like, this is ridiculous.
So, yeah, even if they win, even if they pursue it, they're looking at maybe a $30,000 payout because it's just crazy the lengths that Nintendo has gone to try to shut this.
How much money did they spend?
Oh, a lot more than that. A lot more than that. And that's the thing. This whole thing was never about Nintendo actually having a chance to win against Palworld, against Pocketpair. It was about trying to stall them out or run them out of money. And I don't think they expected, Sony kind of came in too into the Palworld situation. But Palworld's still chugging along. It's still doing very well. And I guess one of the guys from BTS said it's like his favorite game and he plays all the time now. So that's helped them.
Yeah, that would help them a lot, actually.
But I think Nintendo, more than the financial loss, I think they've taken a massive hit in the eyes of a lot of gamers. They've become the villains. And I think it's definitely going to affect them going forward. A lot of people were mad at Nintendo for different reasons, but their lawfare, their highly litigious nature in the past couple of years has been insane to watch. This is kind of their villain arc, and I think a lot of people are just not supporting them based on the principle of that. They're like, yeah, we're not going to support you. You're crazy when it comes to lawsuits. I'm not saying somebody doesn't have a right to defend their IP, but they've been going after everybody for everything, taking down YouTube channels that really were actually fan channels. That's not a good look. They've been hitting gamers on the digital side of things. People don't actually own their games now. People are having a lot of issues with Nintendo. So this is a bad look. It's a bad look. And you're not allowed to complain about it because I know some of the subreddits out there that are pointing this out that Nintendo's basically already lost. They're pulling the links down. The moderators are pulling the links down because
funny, but I'm not surprised.
You can't talk shit about Nintendo on Reddit. You're not allowed to. So good luck with that.
I'm afraid Nintendo's going to sue them next.
No, I think they're afraid of their peers because these people, like if you say anything negative about Nintendo at all, even if it's 100% truthful and you've got the figures and the facts to back it up, they just cannot cope on Reddit. They're
that's Reddit, summed up in one thing. They cannot cope.
So let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Go out to more.clownfishtv.com for more Clownfish TV. If you've been missing Geeky, she's got a whole episode to herself here, ripping YouTube a new one. So maybe she'll have to do a Nintendo one. You'll have to do a Nintendo one.
I don't know if I'll do a Nintendo one, but we'll see.
And also, if you want to listen to us, you can go out to Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to podcasts. So thank you very much. And Geeky's back. I told people you were helping your family this week.
Yes.
So there were some problems there, but thankfully it looks like
everything's fine now, so we're good.
Everything's fine. All right, so let's talk about this because you're not allowed to talk about it on Reddit. This is coming from IGN. Nintendo may only win $30,000 payout in Pokemon legal battle with Palworld developer Pocketpair, IP expert says.
That is a headline.
That is a mouthful. Yeah, this litigation is no longer about anything serious in commercial terms. It never was. It was never. This was never about them winning. It was about them trying to bully a small publisher at the time, out of their game basically.
Well,
and
they kept getting bit in the butt too. The fact that they kept trying to go back and patent things that they couldn't really patent, and it was being thrown out.
Yeah. And they've done some really sleazy things to try to shut them down.
Does not help you. BAM needs to take a lesson. Learn a lesson here that by doing sleazy things and suing everyone does nothing but destroy your brand further. Yeah.
Now, if you're legitimately protecting your IP, that's one thing. But this was basically, if Nintendo won this would have set a dangerous precedent that if Nintendo decided they wanted to make a certain kind of game or kind of genre of game, like if they said nobody else can create an action RPG because we made Zelda, nobody can do a platform game because we made Mario, that is setting a very dangerous precedent. So this was like nobody else can do a monster capture fighting game because we did Pokemon, even though those game mechanics, a lot of them were around before Pokemon. They just kind of took a lot of that stuff and threw it into Pokemon. If you want to get technical with the monster designs too, they lifted a lot of that stuff from Dragon Quest. So, I'm just saying, but it's Nintendo. And they used to be the underdog. Remember when they were getting bullied by Universal?
Yeah, for Donkey Kong, yeah.
And now they've got their stuff in the Universal theme parks. It makes no damn sense. But apparently Universal's like, yeah, we don't care money. So yeah, it said Nintendo may only receive a $30,000 payout if it wins its high-profile legal battle with Palworld developer Pocketpair, an IP expert says. It's looking increasingly likely that Nintendo will lose. Nintendo and the Pokemon Company are currently embroiled in ongoing litigation with Pocketpair in Japan, with patents that revolve around how Pokemon games work at the heart of the lawsuit.
So if Palworld wins, is it $30,000 for them, or is it like a lot more money?
I don't know. I would actually countersue for damage. I'd be like, you tied us up. You made us change our game for this bullshit and the stress and the lawyers and the whole thing. I'd be like, Nintendo... At this point, I'd be like, we are coming for you. Like we were gonna like leave you alone. Some companies, some people, you try to be like, well, you know, we're gonna agree to disagree. We're gonna leave you alone, but they keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. I'd be like, you know what? We're gonna get together with Sony and we're gonna countersue you, and we're gonna be like, you tried to keep us out of the game.
Well, you know, here's the thing too, though. Like Nintendo, they thought that they could just do whatever because they're Nintendo, and. Yeah. Any independent game, I think they have to, like, Nintendo has to lose anyway, even if they had valid grounds, which I don't think they do in this one. Because, like you said, the precedent, any independent game company of any kind, if it's something related to Nintendo, they could go after them because, you know, they won this one. But when it came to this game specifically, I know I was talking to our son about it, and he said, Power was everything that the Pokemon players wanted, and Nintendo knew, and they just rested on their laurels. So I'm going to say other independent games could show up offering people what they want, while Nintendo's just resting on its laurels and doing whatever is, you know, inexpensive for them, and then they could constantly sue everybody else for doing better than they did. And so I'm hoping this, if they lose, it sets a precedent that they aren't going to be able to do that, like you said.
Oh, yeah. Because, yeah, I mean, if they won this one, every other game out there, they'd be like, oh, we made a game like that, so you can't do this. We made, Sonic the Hedgehog? Yeah, no more Sonic the Hedgehog. It's too much like Mario.
And it would be easy to beat Nintendo because Nintendo has lately been, like, they haven't been doing really a lot of new exciting things. It's just basically re-releases of things they've done or, you know, teasing things that are to come eventually. But this game was everything that people wanted and been asking for and asking for and asking for. So any other studio comes up with another game that has everything people have been wanting and asking for, Nintendo just keeps, you know, doing the easy way, cheap way out. They could just go after them. And they would, their best that they could have done probably would be to see if they could buy out Palworld or, you know, Pocketpair, and then, you know, roll that, you know, bring those people in and help them with their stuff. But they didn't. Instead, they spent probably more money than would have cost them on this idiocy.
Well, that's just it. And they said, they point out in IGN, and they're 100% correct. There are other monster capture games, indie monster capture games that have been left alone. What got Nintendo's attention was how successful Palworld was.
That's just it. Because Palworld was what people wanted.
Yeah.
And now their new game's going to be like Palworld. Is Palworld going to sue them for stealing the ideas and the open world concepts to put in their new game?
They should.
I mean,
if we're going to go there,
I'm just saying.
If we're gonna be petty ass bitches,
it's more waste of time and money. There's no point.
But it was all about keeping this game, you know, off the market, and then I think really what whacked the beehive was the fact that they teamed up with Sony and they formed Palworld Entertainment. So that
Sony tie-in I think really pissed them off.
Yeah, so that's their direct competitor. They're going to do Palworld Entertainment, and then they're going to do the same things that Pokemon has done. We're going to do anime, we're going to do cards, we're going to do plushies, we're going to do all that stuff, theme parks, all that stuff. Everything you're doing, Nintendo, we're going to do it with Palworld. But yeah, they made themselves look really bad in this. They said that here's where it's at right now. So there are a whole bunch of different, you know, we've covered it pretty extensively here. Like they retroactively tried to, you know, file trademarks for things. It was so stupid. And a lot of the stuff got thrown out here in the US. But they said, writing on Games Fray, IP expert Florian Mueller said that late last year, Nintendo and the Pokemon Company amended the scope of their claims so the case was limited to older versions of Palworld as opposed to all Palworld versions. Yeah, they've actually made some changes to Palworld to differentiate it more from Pokemon.
Yeah, because they were worried that they get in trouble or because Nintendo complained, yes.
Yeah, and some of the changes were dumb. I mean, some of the changes were really dumb.
Yeah, but they were kind of forced to do it.
Yeah. They said the belief here is they did so because of the changes Pocketpair made to the way Palworld worked in response to the lawsuit as outlined above. Okay. The upshot, Mueller said, is we cannot see any pathway to victory over any current or very recent Palworld version, nor Palworld 1.0, which should launch soon. Yeah, this isn't even the final version of Palworld. It's basically been in open beta for the last 2 years. There's no injunction with real world impact. Even if Nintendo wins the case against the older versions of Palworld, the most it could get in terms of a payout is 5 million yen, or approximately $30,000. That's chump change for either party, and just a rounding error compared to Nintendo's litigation
I was
expenses.
going to say the expenses for both sides. And if Nintendo loses, do they have to pay the Pocketpair's legal expenses, or is that
I don't know.
Corporate?
This is Japanese court, so I don't know how it works over there, because here in the U.S., usually, like, if you file a frivolous case and you lose it, a lot of times the judge will force you to pay the legal expenses. Like, you put these people through this shit.
Disney's notorious for it. Like, stall them out in court, and that's what they're trying to do, is stall them out in court.
Yep. It said there was only a short window with limited sales volume in Japan only for which Nintendo can seek damages. So they're not... Apparently they had to, because it is, again, a Japanese case, so they had to prove the damages were extensive in Japan, and it was a very limited window because almost immediately they made a lot of changes to the game to, again, whatever the initial complaints were. I think it was the PAL spheres and because they look like Pokeballs, and they changed all that stuff. Yeah, they said Nintendo brought divisional patent applications only after Palworld's launch in January 2024, and Pocketpair made changes to the way the game works that November. So, yeah, again, this was them trying to go back and be like, oh, we're going to file a patent or a trademark for this mechanic that you guys put in the game too, so you can't and it's like, yeah, they can't be allowed to win, because
it's just gonna set too much of a precedent to her, and I think they know that, like, I mean, the courts, because it's gonna be nothing but a big shit show at that point, because Nintendo's just gonna go after everyone who ever wronged them ever, or they think they did, or took any inspiration from them, ignoring the fact that they took inspiration from other things, and that's exactly what's gonna happen.
They said, even if we assume for the sake of argument that there was some infringement in 2024, it was a short period, the sales volume was limited, and Nintendo cannot recover damages on worldwide sales in Japan. A Japanese patent is only valid in Japan, like a U.S. patent is only valid in the U.S. So, yeah, if they tried to say, oh, you cost us, hundreds of millions of dollars in lost sales because everybody went out and bought Palworld instead of buying a Pokemon. And I'm like, no, because the Pokemon is the biggest IP in the world now, I think. And you'd be hard pressed to prove that there's any damage at all. Like, Pokemon cards, especially, are doing better now than they have in decades. And for you to say
they're having fights, people are scalping and fighting each other and everything else.
Oh yeah, I'd be like, show us the IP damage, show us the lost sales, because you guys are doing better than you've ever done. Show us where we hurt you in any way. And also, the Pokemon fandom is very anti-Palworld. They're very vocal about it. Be like, no, actually, your fans are crazy ass bitches that were trying to get us to, like, they're going through trying to find everything that they could possibly stolen from Nintendo to defend your honor. Those people are not going to buy Palworld. They're not going to play it. So
also,
it's
Nintendo's not going to give you a cookie either, people.
No, Nintendo. I don't think people understand. It's like Disney. It's like, oh yeah, it's this cute facade, but if you did anything, if you stepped out of line with this company at all, even if you were huge fans, ask the Pokemon card shop how that went. Oh, you guys got robbed? That's too bad. Change your name.
Yep.
That's what they think of. Oh, you love our games, but you loved our games so much that you started a YouTube fan channel. Oh, cool. We're going to copyright strike that.
Yep. They don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care.
Yep. So there we go. We'll keep you guys posted, but it's not looking good. And this is all about just stalling for time and trying to deter them, to slow them down to get to market. They knew they weren't going to win, but they could not let Sony have a Pokemon of their own with Palworld, right? Mm-hmm. So we're going to wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.